it's entertaining and informative. And when he told me that after his nap at noon, he went out and set up his next 4 divisions, I decided this guy must know what he's doing. We're going to have the first part of his talk, and then we're going to break for dinner. And after dinner, then we're going to have the second part of his talk. And he's quite innovative in ways to make his job and life easier and more profitable. And he's going to demonstrate some of the gadgets that he's come up with and uses outside. So to move along and to listen to this individual and to get through to dinner and then back to culminate everything. Neil, would you please come up? And I'd like to introduce everyone to Neil Dennis.
Okay, I'll just give you a bit of a background on until he gets back to run the projector. Our family homesteaded our place in 1900. We had some of the first purebred Herefords in the area. We had jumping horses, racing horses. Later on we had sheep, 6 different breeds we showed at the fairs. Then Charolais came in, we were into them. So our family has always looked after animals. So I never heard anybody say look after the land. It was always look after the animals. They were always first. So what we've done for the last 100 years is mine our land. And we've got nothing left. And okay, so when Barb and I started farming, we were going to do the same thing as everybody else, and we got into financial problems. And the bank's idea was to sell a bunch of land, sell the land and give them the money, and keep doing the same thing as we were with big machinery with less land. Well, we dug the hole faster. And I was too stubborn to give up, and I don't like to be beat. If I used to play hockey, and if I went into a corner with somebody, I don't care how big he is, he's either going down or both of us are going down. We're not coming out of that corner both standing up. So I don't like to be beat. I'm very competitive, so I didn't want to quit farming. So I was going to quit, and then Barb, the first year we heard about this holistic resource management, there was a flyer came in the mail. Can you hear me at the back? And she threw it in the garbage and came home from then the next year it came again, and she realized she'd seen it, so she brought it home and read up this paper. There was a free day 30 miles from home, and the one thing that caught her eye in there was something less quality of life it was. And she decided we should go, and I knew we were too busy, so I didn't want to go, and I finally figured out that it was easier to go along with her than argue with her. So I went, and I listened to this guy give us one day introductory, and I knew he didn't know what he was talking about because I had done this rotational grazing that I heard that Savory was doing, and it didn't work. I didn't know why, but what happened was I planted this down, and I wasn't given enough recovery time. I found this out later, but it worked for about 5 years, and then it collapsed on me. I had all kinds of water and no grass, so I knew that this didn't work. And this guy was telling me it would, but the only thing I got out of the first class was look after the land, it'll look after you, and take pictures so you know what it looks like later on. So I thought that was the end of it. I went home, and that was the end of it, and I went doing what I was doing before. And then about a month later, Barb tells me she signed us up for this holistic resource course. So I wasn't very impressed, but I'd already figured out it was easier to go along and argue, so I went and I argued with the instructor. I sat in the very front row with all my candy and my pop drink, keep my energy up to argue with him. And we got to that, and I spent the next few years trying to prove him wrong. Okay, I'm dyslexic, so I had a heck of a time in school. I would always sit at the back, and if somebody would move in the class, I was paying attention to what they were doing instead of the teacher. And so me and school didn't get along very well. I got my grade 9 education, and most of it was spread in the principal's office. So another thing I learned out of this is that women catch on to this quicker than men. We've got too many paradigms. Are you ready for that? Yeah, I'm ready for that. I'm just fixing time.
All right, yeah.
Okay.
You want that?
Okay, and another reason I'm sitting in the stool is, when I went to school, my grandmother was an ex-school teacher, and she always made my speeches up for me. And then when I went to give them, I always had a sick day coming, so I took it. So I never spoke in public until 2004, and they asked me to speak at a Grazing conference, and I said yes. And then I get home, and Doug says, "You realize you got to stand up in front of everybody?" And I couldn't back out, so I didn't know what to do. So when people come to our place, we've got a high counter, and we sit down and have coffee with the bar stools. So I took my bar stool, and I sat about where you are, one step to get on the stool, and I made it onto the stool, and after I get into my pictures, I'm okay. And I like questions, so if you got a question, or if you don't understand something I'm saying, throw up your hand so I can explain it to you. There's no dumb questions. The only dumb question is one that wasn't asked. And I can usually see pretty good all around. When I look down here, I can see back here, I can see the screen, I can see all the way around. And we're finding that most of us that are doing all this stuff, we're all dyslexic. Amy Mitchell-Lyons, Gene Golden, Chad Peterson, Roger Savy, we're all dyslexic. I don't know, it just happens that way. So, okay. Yeah. Whoa, that's not the first one. Keep going back. Are you in 2010? Missouri 2010?
Oh, no. Here we go.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry.
That one he's in, that's the one that the neighbor told me if you're going to be lazy, get good at it. It's all the toys I built to make things easier. Okay, next one. That was